Ah. All right. Hey, good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't even pulled up Minecraft. It didn't. It crashed. Damn it. All right. So look at the title screen for a little while. Hey, 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 hey. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's Christmas morning. Yes. Merry Christmas settings. Hold on. I got to get this thing all ready to go. Minecraft, all the things are ready. Got to load up the resource packs. You're gonna load in. You're gonna play. You're gonna get in there like things are cool. Okay, now I'm gonna switch over. There we go. All right, it's gonna come eventually. It's gonna happen eventually. It's loading. Okay, yeah. Here I am. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. I made it. It's Christmas. It's Christmas morning. Like, how wonderful. There's my bed. Just got out of bed. There's the sun shining coming in. How nice is that? Oh, wow. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Happy Christmas morning to you. I already opened my gifts. I already opened my gifts. I got a coffee maker, a new coffee maker. I got a blanket, a little throw blanket for me because my cat stole the other one. I got thermal socks, which is good because I have holes in my other ones, so that's good. I don't have to sew them. I got let's see, I got some Tupperware, I got pot holders, and I got Tupperware, pot holders, and like big spoons and spatulas for cooking. So this is from my mom. So that's cool. She's like, be more domestic. Stop eating out so much. Okay, yeah, good point, right? It's expensive to eat out. I eat out way too much. I eat fast food thinking, oh, it's only not going to hurt just once or twice. Like, no way, dude. It starts adding up. Eating fast food adds up. Yeah. So, hey, I have done a whole bunch of work in Minecraft. Like I was on vacation, but a giant storm came through and dumped a bunch of covered the city in a layer of ice on Friday. And then on Saturday it rained all day to melt the ice. Which is good. The ice is melted. Yay. But I didn't really go out and do anything, so that's okay. Ooh, hey. So instead, I spent a bunch of time playing Minecraft. I keep reworking this thing. I keep reworking the Inquisitor farm because it's important. It's important that the Inquisitor farm do what it's supposed to do. I get that looting effect. Yeah. And it's not for nothing either, right? I mean, since I started making this thing, I haven't touched the gunpowder. So that's about the rate of gunpowder I've gotten so far. Right. But I keep pulling from the redstone because I need redstone to make stuff. So that's how much redstone I have. So this is how much comes out, and this is how much I have because I've been using it all. I use a lot of redstone. I build a lot of stuff, and it takes a lot of redstone. And I lay a lot of rail, too. I lay rail! Okay. So I worked on that, and then I also worked on the witch hut itself. Man, I need to change the sound because the sound is still really loud. Why is that dirt there? It must be important, otherwise I wouldn't have put it there. But yeah, this is the witch hut, or the Inquisitor farm. The Inquisitors! It broadcasts a signal, and the Inquisitors come to try to destroy it. But it's a trap! It's a trap! They were tricked! And instead, the Inquisitors are decimated. And here, this is what it looks like on the inside. Let me turn off the RTX. So you can see inside what happens. What is awaiting them. The tripwire is the witch indicator, or the Inquisitor indicator line. They spawn on that block, but the glass right there pushes them off onto the open area. They'll trip the wire, and then they fall into the trident killer, which then has their drops, kills them, and then they're when the water spills out, because you can see the water doesn't want to fall out. I have to make it wrong, the timing wrong, so that the water will spill out and that the Inquisitors fall into the pistons. Otherwise, they just dance around if it's a beat. And so this all goes down the line, back here to the brain, if you will, where things are sorted out. So yeah, that's how that works, and it's been working pretty good. Let me tell you. The other thing I've been working on a lot is in the Nether. This is a fully functional train station. It's fully functional. The whole thing. I haven't decorated it, but the whole thing works perfectly. The whole thing works perfectly. This is originally a design. The design was originally from FedEx Gaming, and it's old. It's like a 6-year-old video. It is so old that a lot of the blocks that are in Minecraft now weren't there when he made the video, when he made the first train station. So what's so neat about this is that he made it with the most basic redstone components that we have. It's so smart. Look at how this thing works. This thing is brilliant. Like each slice is like just this component here. Okay, with no power going through, the natural state of this thing is that this redstone torch is lit. It powers this repeater, which powers this block, which powers this block, which powers this block, and turns off this torch. Since this torch is turned off, it does not power this redstone here. So it just doesn't do it. Right, because it's turned off. So it's not. Why would it power it if it's turned off? Now, what happens when you press the button is you put power into this repeater. You also light this block up temporarily, but you put power into this repeater, which puts power into this block, which then puts power into this redstone right here, which powers this block, which turns off this light. Turns this off, this torch. That turns this off, turns off this whole thing, and then this gets turned on. Since that's turned on, it keeps powering this redstone. So it's like a latch. It's basically a latch. You just flip the latch, and then it's switched the other way. Watch. Power goes through here, turns that one on, and even though the power turns off on the button, it's held by the latch. That's just so smart. That's so brilliant. That's so brilliant. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Okay, and then all of these guys have underneath right there, that's the reset line. So it all goes to this machine here. This machine here is the simplest thing ever. It's just a dropper pointing up, and that's just a hopper pointing down. And then I have comparators reading the hopper. So it's empty right now. It's just going to be empty until the dropper gets a power. It shoots up one into it. The hopper will briefly have an item in it. So this guy will briefly read something and put out power. And then it'll fall back down, and that'll turn off. So that's the input line coming in from all the units, and this goes back out to all the units. So the input, output, output. And the output is real simple. It's just a flash. So I just flashed this piston up for a second. You can't see what I'm doing anymore. I have to run back. It just flashes up for a second and lights this line up and then puts it all across. So that way you can switch between tracks. It'll reset all of them and then reselect the one that you want. And it works on both sides. And the neat thing is I got to move I moved my reset button back to where I wanted it. It was in a bad position before, now it's in the good position. So that just resets everything. Yeah, ta-da! The safest way to travel in the Nether, I'm telling you. This goes back to the world spawn point. And remember, I traveled thousands of blocks to get here, so it's a long trip. Don't do it. This goes to Icy Peaks. That's if I need snow and stuff. This goes to Soul Sand Valley if I need soul sand stuff, and this goes to the desert mangroves. Basically, there's a mangrove swamp, but there's a blob of desert, of sand right in the middle of it for no reason. So I went there just to mine out the desert. And I'm doing it to convert it into sand. This here is a hoglin farm. Hoglins will spawn naturally under here. They're the only things that can spawn because of the space. And hoglins are terrified of blue mushrooms. So if they see a blue mushroom, they run away. And since there's blue mushrooms everywhere, they keep running away, and eventually they get herded. They fall into the trap, da-da-dum, because they believe these to be solid blocks. And those are just campfires. I mean, it's just blue fire, so it burns hotter in Minecraft. But yeah, same thing. It just cooks them. And then so passively, I get food and leather, just passively. But the problem is it's too close. I need to move it like farther away so it works better. It only works if I'm way over here. And I don't AFK in this corner. I AFK in the middle of my base, not in the middle, not toward the wall. So I have to move it like 30 blocks that way, at least. Man, alright, hold on. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me when I explain a lot of this Minecraft stuff I've been working on. I mean, after all, this is a Minecraft show, right? So I gotta show Minecraft stuff. So let me show you how this train station works. This is a station that doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, you hop on the cart, and it will automatically take you to where you need to go, and it will automatically return you. The return is great. Ah! What? 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 You were gonna fly into a wall, and all of a sudden you're here now. What? What happened? Do that again. That's funny. All right, you're going along, la la la, and then you fall, and then lights. Ah! And then what? Ah! I just think it's funny. I just think it's cool. All right. I also made this little tiny passage here. And this takes us to the next place I've been working on a lot. Da-da-dum. Here we are at the gold farm. I have done a lot of work here. I've done a lot of work. Here, let's skip the night. I've done a lot of work here. I lowered the thing from being way up there because there was no reason. It just made it uncomfortable to be way up there. So I put it back down to here, so that way I could see the flow coming in. This is just where the crap goes. That's where the gold goes. And yeah, and if you look, this is the item sorter. But if you look, it's now a 4 gate. There are 4 gates to call forth pigmen. So I can call forth an absurd number of pigmen in a short order of time. Now, why would you want to summon all these zombie pigmen into your world? Why would you want to do something so terrible like that? Well, here, let's turn it on. Yeah. So there they come. They just fall in. Some of them fall on top of things, so I have to put spikes there. But otherwise, yeah, they just fall in. And that's the quickest way to get gold. Is by killing pigmen and taking their gold they have, because they spawn with gold nuggets. So why would you want to summon all these terrible pigmen into your world? Look at that. They're just pouring in, ready to destroy all life. Why would you do that? Why would you want to do that? Because that's how you get energy. Look at all that experience points I get. Look at all that gold I'm getting. Now that item sorter there is sorting out all the gold swords from everything else. So you destroy the gold swords and everything else flows up. So if it's a gold sword, it gets sorted out. If it's not a gold sword, it continues on. So it goes along this way. The rotted flesh gets sorted out here and taken out of the system. The remaining good stuff, the gold nuggets and the gold ingots, come to here, which is the other sorting system. And if it doesn't make it, it just goes around again. That's okay. It just goes around again if it doesn't happen the first time. Everything is set to go in the place it's designed to go in. If a pigman falls on top of the ignition system, there's a lot of spikes there that just kill the pigman. That way they don't get clogged in the system. Same thing over there. There are little spikes that just kill the pigman. Otherwise, they fall in the water. They fall in the water system and they go into the chamber where they are purified. They are stripped of their corporal trappings and their essences are released. So I spent a lot of time working on this guy. This guy took forever. But it works so good, and it's super important because all this experience, look at my tools. They all get repaired. Look at that tool. Look at it's just like I can wear it down to a nub. As long as it's still there, all I have to do is stand in front of this machine for a little bit of time, and all my tools get repaired. All my armor gets repaired. Everything is fixed. See, that's done. I'll just switch to each tool. So this is why this is like the gold farm is not only for gold. It's primarily for it's also for repairing tools and for enchantments later on. But yeah, this thing is amazing. And it just pumps out the gold. So there's the nugget. Come on, dude, don't show me up. Oh wait, maybe it's over here more. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Me just standing here. Look at my nugget count go up. I do nothing. I've already done all the work. There's no faster way of getting gold than this. Alright, enough of this. Once it's cleared out, I can turn off the machine. Yeah, this place here is like the anti-Java. You cannot do this. You can't do this right here. This is impossible in Java. Because in Java, this is a one-tick pulse for the piston. In Java, if you do a one-tick pulse on a sticky piston, it will leave the block there. The piston will go up and retract, and the block will stay there. You cannot build this machine in Java. This Trident killer, you cannot build the Trident killer in Java. Can't do it. Cannot build this in Java. It doesn't exist in Java. This gold farm, the portal flashing mechanism to generate pigment, that doesn't exist in Java. This entire setup here is like a Bedrock exclusive. You can only do this in Bedrock Minecraft. I dig it a lot. It helps me repair my tools. It helps me do a lot of stuff. Like, I dig it. I dig it. So, yeah. Now, distance in the Nether is 1/8 the distance in the overworld. That's why these nether portals are so close together here, but are so far apart in the overworld. Because every block, one block here is 8 blocks in the overworld. 1 block, 8 blocks. 1 block, 8 blocks. 1 block, 8 blocks. That's why you can travel. I've only moved 3 blocks here, but I've traveled 24 in the overworld. I mean, like, that's like 324. 324. That's why the nether is really useful. It's for because basically, just like Elon Musk can destroy space through time by flying with a private jet. The way he treats it like we treat our cars, and we treat our cars like other people treat their bikes. The same way we can destroy space through time out there, you can destroy space through time in here too. Like, big deal if there's 1,000 blocks between us, if I can cover it in like 2 seconds. Okay, I've also moved the item sorter, or the gold farm, away from the middle and off to the side. I had made a huge item sorter here, all up and down along this thing, but I found out I couldn't use it because it wasn't big enough. Ah! The gold farm the iron farm got in the way. So I have to design another one. I think I'm going to put it over here and have it go all along this wall. I might even have to sink it in more into the ground. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I also... let's see. I lost my horse. I think a chicken spawned in there and pushed my horse out. So, and my horse wandered away. So it's a bug in Minecraft right now that horses get pushed out by other animals. But one of many. There are many bugs in Minecraft, in Bedrock. Alright, so over here, but it doesn't matter, I still like this game a lot, so keep working on it, thanks. I worked on my little farming system. I need a lot more wheat. I found out that golden carrots are not very good anymore. They used to be the best food in the game, but I come to find out golden carrots are no longer the best food in the game. So I no longer want to farm massive numbers of carrots. Instead, I need to farm massive amounts of wheat to feed cows, to kill cows, to eat, because cows are the best food. They give you leather and the best food. Which kind of sucks, because I liked being vegetarian in Minecraft. Because, you know, it made sense to be a vegetarian in Minecraft. No longer. But yeah, I just kind of like made it so that it's a little prettier. That's all. Remember how I said that all that dirt was important to have? Yeah, if you would have seen this place before I worked on it, and if you would have saw how much dirt I used to terraform it, it took a lot of work to get it to be this nice. Like, there are trees and holes and all sorts of weird stuff. Speaking of holes, so I'm slowly like evening out this base. And look at what I found in the corner. This is like totally like a swamp biome, because the ground is just filled with sinkholes, and the sinkholes are filled with water. And you know why? In the beginning, I never liked this cave dive. You know why I never liked to cave dive? Here, let's find out. Cave diving. Narrow, dark places. Underwater. Like, and it's dark. You can't see shit. So like, yeah, here, there's a way out of this one, but that's only because I have respiration. I have respiration, aqua affinity, and depth strider 3. So yeah, water now is no problem. I'm not afraid of it. But in the beginning, before I had those enchantments, these sinkholes were deadly. Like, look how dark it is. I can't see anything. I mean, I can kind of like see like what's literally in my face, but that's it. Yeah. That's why it's dangerous. Dangerous to go in sinkholes. And the swamp is filled with those kind of holes all over the place. Like right here, right here, everywhere. I made a very, very basic mine, but I haven't started digging it out. I haven't started digging it out yet because I haven't made the storage system yet. So I have nowhere to put anything until I finish the storage system. Let's see. Let's see. I built a tunnel here just to make it easier to get to my base. And then once you do that, then it makes like why did I build this whole thing up here? Like what? That thing's going great. That's fine. That thing I killed because it just didn't work anymore. That's it in Minecraft. It took me a while. Like I could cover it real quick now, but in like Minecraft time, it took so long to get there, to get here. So, all right, let me sort through my stuff a bit. I want to go on a little mini adventure. Well, I would, but I don't have any. Here, we'll just use smooth stone. Okay, let's go on a mini adventure. I'm gonna go to the icy biome or the icy peaks and make a base camp. So this is how this thing works. World spawn point, icy peaks. We're gonna see the reason why I built this. Remember, 1 block is 8 blocks in the overworld. So if I tried to walk to this location, it would take me 8 times the amount of time. I'd have to cover 8 times the distance. And it doesn't make sense to do that with a train line because it would take forever. So here I am. Those are the icy peaks. This is a meadow above the icy, like, we're pretty high up the mountain, but still not up at the snow level yet. So I need to make a base here. But this is where I started my, this is where I got the powdered snow. This is where, yeah, I need to make a new base because also underneath these mountains is an ancient city that I want to explore. I haven't done ancient city exploring in survival yet. I was on the verge and I never did it really. I think I went on the outskirts of it. But I might want to get a skull sensor just to eat up the experience points at the gold farm, because sometimes if you just let if I'm just trying to get gold, the experience orbs will lag out my computer. So skull sensors are good ways to destroy experience orbs. That way they don't lag out your system. They don't lag you. Or Mojang could like fix the bug with experience orbs not showing up so I could see where they are and people could take care of them. Creeper just blew up my base, but only 1 block. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha, creeper. Okay, I guess this is the ground floor now. Stay away, bad guys. So yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Like it's nice to make it another year. Yeah. And yep. So what's been going on in the world? Quite a bit. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I was gonna say. So I didn't realize it, but in Minecraft we're all wizards. we're able to cast spells, and it's pretty cool. Let me show you what I mean. Oh no, I can't. Oh yeah, I can. With coal and a stick, we can cast continual light. Ah ha 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 ha! It never goes away. It always casts light. It's a spell, continual light. See, we're playing D&D and didn't even realize it. Oh hey, Enderman, what are you doing here? Ow. Ah! Shit. I thought I was safe. Got my shield up. Where are you? There you are. Ow. Ah, I got him! Alright. So much for the safe base. Here, it's because of this block. Alright. I didn't bring a bed or anything. Square base. Right. Less monsters now, yay. Yay, less monsters! It's a square. It's just a square. It's so bad. It doesn't matter. It's just a start. So I'm not, I'm not like the best, most creative guy at Minecraft. I'm not bad, but for this, it's more about time. How much time do I want to spend making a base? And it's not that much time. I'm just trying to like not die. That's my main thing. Oh, alrighty then. We need, yeah, steel doors. Well, here, I need like a place to put stuff. All right, there we go. That helps. Let's try to organize some of this stuff. Like, what did I bring some of this for? You weren't even thinking about stuff. You just kind of hopped in a portal and went. That's why. Okay. The most basic. The most basic of beginnings. But that's okay. That's what this is. This is the beginning. Ah! Ah! My... Ah! Oh man! What a front door! That's funny. Okay. Well, like how many times have creepers blown up there? Like, I'd rather not hear. Why don't I just make this whole thing go away? I mean, I can keep one little cave opening, but not the whole thing. In fact, why don't I put a door there? Sure, cave entrance. You can stay here after I like secure you and put a door there. Running out of bricks. I need 2 more buttons. All right. All right, there you go, cave. You can stop blowing me up now. Such a basic house. It's okay, it's just starting. Like, so yeah, I was supposed to go up, not down. But you know, who says? Like, it's just the beginning. It's all right. So yeah, like, ta-da! All right. I should make ladders to get to go up. Why ladder, dude? Just use a scaffolding. So old school. Oh shit. That's why I didn't want to use the corner. All right. It's like resisting the corner, and I'm like, why? Why resist? Oh, that's right. The lamp. Okay. Yeah, hey, Merry Christmas. It's funny because like the rest of the US is like blanketed in snow from the storm that just came over and got all of us in Oregon. Like the storm that covered us in ice on Friday is now covering the East Coast in tons of snow. Ooh, I got a new coffee maker, but I'm still working it out. Like, I just, like, spilled a bunch of coffee all over the place. Shit. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm cleaning my coffee maker from the spill I just made. My brand new coffee maker I got on Christmas morning today. Second pot I ever made, and I spill a bunch all over the place. It's a superior coffee maker. It's a superior coffee maker, but I have to learn how to use it. Okay. Yes. So, it's Christmas morning, but I still want to talk about news stuff, about what's been going on in the news. Yeah. What's been going on in the news? Let's see. The first thing is that cold bubble. It's not even on here. So here's that cold bubble that just is gonna nail everybody. But you see how behind it now we're here. Now we're about here-ish. So all you guys are freezing, but me over here, it's like warm today. It's like 45 degrees. All that snow melted, all that ice melted, and it's like nice. I almost want to open my windows. That's how nice it is. It's 45 and it's like 8:45 in the morning. Like, and it's 45 degrees. So yeah, this thing is yeah, you guys are freezing right now, and we're just like pretty warm over on this side. What else is going on? Oh yeah, so Christmas morning. So it's Christmas, right? Like, okay, I don't know if people know, but I want to do a refresher of the story of Christmas, of why, like, I mean, I know, like, we've all heard it and it's all been done before, like, rah rah rah, but still I think it's important just to like to go over it again so we remember the reason why, or like the purpose of this holiday. Remember how it started. Got to go back to the beginning, how it started. Oh geez, look at that. Oh, look at that dark ass cave. It's right there. I didn't even know. Oh, it's not a big ass cave. All right. I was afraid it was. Oh my God! See, I can't go out at night. Oh, there's another Enderman. Oh, shit. I need to retreat back home. Of course, Enderman can come in here still. So what is the purpose of Christmas? Remember the story. One night, long ago, there was a pregnant woman and her husband who were desperate to find shelter in the cold night because she was about to go into labor, and all the places were full. They wouldn't let anyone else in. They wouldn't let anyone in. And these are like foreigners. They were foreigners. You know, who are you guys? You guys just kind of showed up out of nowhere, and now you want a place to stay? Sorry, they're all full. So this poor woman and her husband went to the only place they could, which was like a place for animals to sleep, basically. Basically, they went to the place for the animals to you know, where they keep animals. That was the only place they could go, and the animals kept them warm. and in that those terrible conditions, that woman gave birth to a child. And that child represents hope for a lot of people. That even under the worst conditions, there's life begins anew. So that's the Christmas, you know, in remembrance of that time. We celebrate Christmas. Of that story. But not everyone's a Christian, so not everyone necessarily follows that story or even believes in that story. Some people are actively hostile to that story. Those people I call idol worshippers. They have an idol that they worship, and they try to confuse people by naming it the same thing that Christians use, but it's a different thing entirely. It's an idol. It's they worship an idol. It's the white idol. They worship the white idol. And worshippers of the white idol don't necessarily follow or they know about the teachings of Jesus, but they go the opposite direction of it. They on purpose they do the opposite. On purpose they do the opposite. That's how they show that they worship the white idol, is by they do the opposite. So everyone knows the story of Christmas is that refugees coming from abroad took the only shelter they could to give birth to hope. That is the story of Christmas. The story, but the worshippers of the white idol are hostile to this narrative. They're hostile to the idea of refugees coming to seek refuge to give birth to hope. They're hostile to that idea. They don't want it to happen. So in that vein, let me show you what happened on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is one of these idol worshippers. He worships the white idol. And so remember, if you worship the white idol, you're hostile to the ideas of Jesus and the story of Jesus. You're hostile to that whole thing. So Greg Abbott is hostile to this idea of refugees coming to seek refuge to give birth to hope. He's hostile to it. So, and he's aware of it, and he's hostile to it. So he wants to do the opposite. To show the power of the white idol, he wants to cover the holiday of Christmas with the opposite idea. That way he shows the power of the white idol. So what Greg Abbott did was he took refugees coming from a place of poverty and danger who come here in search of hope, and they are legally allowed to come here in search of, to seek refuge. That's legal. They're allowed to do this. Greg Abbott, to show the power of the white idol, chose the day before Christmas to take these refugees, gather them up with lies, and say, "Oh, we're going to help you. We're going to help you." Actually, he gathered them up, put them on a bus, sent them on a trip for hours and hours and hours on a bus ride to Washington, D.C., and then at like 3 in the morning, he dumped them off, kicked them off the bus on the street in D.C. in 14-degree weather. To show, right? That's like the opposite. That's like the opposite of Christmas. He takes refugees and like treats them like crap. He takes people looking for hope and he smashes it. He exploits them. He does this, Greg Abbott, to show the power of the white idol. He's like, look at what the white idol can do. The white idol can shit all over the story of Christmas. That's the power of the white idol. That's what Greg Abbott is displaying. That's what he did. More migrants dropped off outside Vice President's home in freezing weather on Christmas Eve. December 25th, updated this morning. It just happened. Several busloads of migrants were dropped. Oh yeah, this story is by Noah Gray of CNN. Several busloads of migrants were dropped off in front of Vice President Kamala Harris's house residence in Washington, D.C. on Christmas Eve in 18-degree weather late Saturday. An initial 2 busloads were taken to local shelters, according to an administration official. More buses arrived outside the Vice President's residence later Saturday evening. A CNN team saw migrants being dropped off, with some migrants wearing only T-shirts in the freezing weather. They were given blankets and put on another bus that went to a local church. I see what happened. So the worshippers of the white idol took these refugees, lied to them, saying they're going to be helped, but actually put them on buses, sent them on a 1,000-mile journey across the country to be dropped off somewhere, just to be dumped off somewhere else, so they weren't the Texas problems anymore. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't the issue for Texas to deal with anymore. It wasn't an issue for Texas to deal with anyways. It was the federal issue. But Texas wants to make a big deal out of it, or Greg Abbott wants to make a big deal out of it, because remember, he worships the white idol. So in service to the white idol, he drops off refugees in the middle of winter with no clothes and no shelter on the streets in D.C. to show the power of the white idol. However, local Christians kicked in and picked up the people like right away. It's like right away, local churches stepped in and took over. So it was the white idol, the worshippers of the white idol, who dumped off the refugees on the street wearing nothing, and it was Christians who picked up the refugees. Merry Christmas. So yeah, it's because white idol, worshippers of the white idol, believe fervently. They believe that power dictates everything. So that if the situation were reversed, they believe naturally that we would act, or the other people would act the same way that the worshippers of the white idol act. They would act the same way. But that's not true, because not everyone worships the white idol. Not everyone is like that. Just because the tables are turned doesn't mean they're going to do the same thing. Just because refugees appear with nothing on the streets of D.C., they're not going to be dumped on a bus and shipped to Canada. No, they're going to be taken care of. They're not going to be like you, like Greg Abbott, worshippers of the white idol. So that's how I know Greg Abbott and his followers are worshippers of the white idol, because they try to cover up the holiday of Christmas with a display of power from the white idol. And that display of power is doing the opposite of what Christmas is about. Yeah, like, I'm not joking. This actually happened. They were just dropped off in t-shirts, and people had to give them blankets. They were just dropped off on the street. They just nothing. Just dropped off. That's the white idol. Someone gave them a blanket, and then other people came to take them to get shelter. But the people of the white idol, they didn't care. They just sent them there to show the power of the white idol. Crazy. Do. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Ah, da da da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah, if you come out too far, it's like too far from the mountains. But to appreciate them, you kind of have to back away. You can't see them when you're up close like that. Icy peaks. So yeah. Anyways. Donkey. What else do I got here? Oh, okay. So in the vein of Christmas, in the spirit of hope, I want to recap why I started this whole Minecraft thing to begin with. Remember, the purpose of me starting this, you can see it in episode 2, season 1, toward the end, where I just come out and say it. Because in 2018, no one really believed me. They thought I was crazy. But in 2018, I told my cousin that Donald Trump was a traitor, and he was on Team Russia, trying to overthrow our country. And he actually tried to overthrow our country 3 years later, on January 6, 2021. But he has not yet been indicted, even though I've known since 2018 that he's a criminal and that he's here to harm the United States. Even though all of this is known, nothing has happened to Donald Trump yet. Nothing has happened yet. In fact, we had an election. And the people who supported Donald Trump got reelected in many cases. The people said, yeah, you tried to overthrow our government. We tried to take away my vote. I want you to try again. Here's another chance. Try to take away my vote again, please. We agree that we don't deserve a vote. Why would you say that? I don't know, but that's what they think. So, in that vein, let's do a recap of the key evidence of how we know that Donald Trump and the Republicans tried to overthrow the government. Now, here's the thing. They don't talk much about Jeannie Thomas and Clarence Thomas, how they were instrumental in trying to overthrow the government. So, in a way, this is like a cop-out, because it's not going after Jeannie Thomas and Clarence Thomas. They're very important in the coup. But just for January 6th, here's that part.
It's important to remember what we've learned, and critically, exactly what happened at the United States Capitol on January 6th.
Yes.
Without objection, I include in the record a video presentation of some of the key evidence our investigation has uncovered.
There were officers on the ground. They were bleeding. They were throwing up. I mean, I saw friends with blood all over their faces. I was slipping in people's blood.
As I was swarmed by a violent mob, they ripped off my badge. They grabbed and stripped me of my radio. They seized ammunition that was secured to my body. They began to beat me with their fists and with what felt like hard metal objects.
The key thing to do is to claim victory. No, we won. Fuck you. Sorry, over. We won. Yeah. You're wrong. Fuck you.
Right out of the box on election night, the president claimed that there was major fraud underway. I mean, this happened, as far as I could tell, before there was actually any potential of looking at evidence.
I didn't think what was happening was necessarily honest or professional at that point in time. So that led to me stepping away.
Generally discussed on that topic was whether the fraud, maladministration, abuse, or irregularities, if aggregated and read most favorably to the campaign, would that be outcome determinative? And I think everyone's assessment in the room, at least amongst the staff, Mark Short, myself, and Greg Jacob, was that it was not sufficient to be outcome determinative.
I told him that I did believe, yes, that once those legal processes were run, if fraud had not been established that had affected the outcome of the election, then unfortunately I believe that what had to be done was concede the outcome.
What were the chances of President Trump winning the election?
After that point?
Yes.
None.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
The numbers are the numbers. The numbers don't lie. We had many allegations, and we investigated every single one of them.
Did one of them make a comment that they didn't have evidence, but they had a lot of theories?
That was Mr. Giuliani.
And what exactly did he say, and how did that come up?
My recollection, he said, we've got lots of theories, we just don't have the evidence. You're asking me to do something that's never been done in history, the history of the United States, and I'm going to put my state through that without sufficient proof?
There's a tape earlier in the day of Ruby Freeman and Shay Freeman Moss and one other gentleman quite obviously surreptitiously passing around USB ports as if they're vials of heroin or cocaine.
In one of the videos we just watched, Mr. Giuliani accused you and your mother of passing some sort of USB drive to each other. What was your mom actually handing you on that video?
A ginger mint.
Do you know how it feels to have the President of the United States to target you? The President of the United States is supposed to represent every American, not to target one.
I made it clear I did not agree with the idea of saying the election was stolen and putting out this stuff, which I told the president was bullshit.
He wanted to talk about that he thought the election had been stolen or was corrupt, and that there was widespread fraud. And I had told him that our reviews had not shown that to be the case.
And I said something to the effect of, sir, we've done dozens of investigations, hundreds of interviews. The major allegations are not supported by the evidence developed.
Well, my first thought was, this is a terrible idea. Jeff Clark cannot be installed as acting Attorney General of the United States.
You ultimately told us that you described this meeting as not this meeting, the Georgia letter that was proposed as an effing murder-suicide pact. Do you remember using the term murder-suicide pact?
Yes.
Was it your impression that the Vice President had directly conveyed his position on these issues to the President, not just to the world, channeled through a Dear Colleague letter, but directly to President Trump.
Many times. My view was that the vice president didn't have the legal authority to do anything except what he did.
And I said, hold on a second, I want to understand what you're saying. You're saying that you believe the vice president, acting as president of the Senate, can be the sole decision maker as to, under your theory, who becomes the next president of the United States? And you said yes. And I said, are you out of your effing mind?
The president was, all the attention was on what Mike would do or what Mike wouldn't do.
There's a telephone conversation between the president and the vice president, is that correct?
Yes.
The conversation was pretty heated.
Apologize for being impolite, but do you remember what she said her father called him?
The P word. It was clear that it was escalating and escalating quickly. So then when that tweet, the Mike Pence tweet, was sent out, I remember us saying that was the last thing that needed to be tweeted at that moment. It felt like he was pouring gasoline on the fire by tweeting that.
It gained access to the second floor, and I've got public about 5 feet from me down here below.
Okay, copy. They are on the second floor, moving in now. We may want to consider getting out and leaving now. Copy.
The members of the VPT at this time were starting to fear for their own lives. There were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth.
Approximately 40 feet. That's all there was. 40 feet between the vice president and the mob.
Donald Trump and his allies and supporters are a clear and present danger to American democracy.
We got derogatory information from OSINT suggesting that some very, very violent individuals were organizing to come to D.C.
As Mr. Giuliani and I were walking to his vehicles that evening, he looked at me and said something to the effect of, Cass, are you excited for the 6th? It's going to be a great day. I remember looking at him saying, Rudy, could you explain what's happening on the 6th? He had responded something to the effect of, we're going to the Capitol. It's going to be great. The president's going to be there. He's going to look powerful.
He personally asked for us to come to D.C. that day. And I thought, for everything he's done for us, if this is the only thing he's going to ask of me, I'll do it.
Well, basically, the president, got everybody riled up, told everybody to head on down. So we basically were just following what he said.
Within 15 minutes of leaving the stage, President Trump knew that the Capitol was besieged and under attack.
So are you aware of any phone call by the President of the United States to the Secretary of Defense that day?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Are you aware of any phone call by the President of the United States to the Attorney General of the United States that day?
No.
Are you aware of any phone call by the President of the United States to the Secretary of Homeland Security that day?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Did you ever hear the president
No.
ask for the national
No.
guard? Did you ever hear the president ask for law enforcement response?
No.
You got an assault going on the Capitol of the United States of America. And there's nothing. No call, nothing, zero.
I remember Pat saying something to the effect of, Mark, we need to do something more. They're literally calling for the vice president to be effing hung. And Mark had responded something to the effect of, you heard him, Pat. He thinks Mike deserves it. He doesn't think they're doing anything wrong.
You on the staff did not want people to leave the Capitol.
On the staff?
In the White House.
I can't think of anybody, on that day who didn't want people to get out of the Capitol particularly once the violence started. No. I mean,
school.
Yeah.
Well, she said the staff. So I answered.
No, I said in the White House.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought you said who else on the staff. I can't reveal communications, but obviously I think, you know,
I said, good, John. Now I'm going to give you the best free legal advice you're ever getting in your life. Get a great effing criminal defense lawyer. You're going to need it.
General Flynn, do you believe in the peaceful transition of power in the United States of America?
Another officer unconscious at the church. What church?
I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
It's important to remember what we've learned.
Yup. So that happened. Donald Trump and his crew literally tried to overthrow the government. They literally tried to do it, and it was planned in the open forever. Everyone knew it was going to happen. Everyone knew. I made a show like before the 6th, before the inauguration, or before it happened. I made a show warning people to stay home, to not go, to not go to it because it was going to be bad. It wasn't like we didn't know. That means the rot goes way deeper than what they're letting on. That means there's members of the Secret Service, members of the FBI, members of Congress, definitely the Supreme Court with Jeannie Thomas and Clarence Thomas. Yeah, all like the conspiracy runs super deep. But you have to be able to see it in order to take care of it. If you don't acknowledge it, then you can't. It'll never get fixed because you refuse to see it. When people say, "Oh, you should be colorblind," that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep you blind to what's actually going on. Donald Trump didn't try to overthrow the government for nothing. He did it in service to white supremacy. Like, Republicans don't stand for nothing. They stand for white supremacy. That's their whole point. When you see that, when you understand what they're about, then you can start to take steps to rectify the situation. And it's not just here in the United States. This is a global phenomenon. It's part of fascism. Fascism is a global thing. It's a global thing, and it's happened before. It'll happen again. It's happening as I speak. But we're fighting it, right? That's the whole point. Once you're aware of it, then you can fight it. You can do something about it. For years, we ignored Ukraine and all the bad things that happened in Ukraine. Now that the West finally accepts that Russia isn't going to come around and that Russia is actually like wrecking these places, and we're actually now giving them assistance to help, then they can do something. They can actually do something. So let's look at Zelensky. This is the thing. This is what Donald Trump did not want to happen. Remember Donald Trump? Oh man, I can't grab this anymore. Remember when Donald Trump wanted to remember when we impeached Donald Trump the first time we impeached Donald Trump. The first time we impeached Donald Trump was because Zelensky desperately needed this thing right here. He needed to shake the hand of the president of the United States to show his people and to show Russia that the United States was going to support Ukraine. He desperately needed it. And and Congress had already given signed off on giving assistance aid to Ukraine. And what had happened was Donald Trump interceded. He stepped in between Congress and Zelensky and said, hey guy, I know you're desperate for this aid, but I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to extort you by stealing this aid that was going to go to you and say you can't get it unless you do something real nice for me. So that handshake was everything. That handshake was everything. Now my video card is starting to complain, so I'm going to stop. What, isn't this a cool mountain? It's got a floating chunk of ice right there. Yeah, look, it's got a nice little grove up here too. If I could, like, I don't want to build a base up here, but if I need powdered snow, I can make a powdered snow farm there. And look, this is ice. this is packed ice. I can, instead of going to the icebergs, I can just take it from here. I can literally mine the mountains. And underneath this is ancient city. Da-da-dum. So after all this time, Zelensky finally gets his meeting with the president in the Oval Office, and he gets a firm commitment to show his people and to show the world that the United States supports Ukraine. And you can hear the forces of fascism here in the United States howling in anger. They hate it. They hate it. They tried so long. They worked so hard to stop Zelensky from solidifying his friendship with the United States. They tried so hard. That's why Tucker Carlson is wailing about it, like because he's on Team Russia. Yeah. Anyone who's against the United States supporting Ukraine is on Team Russia, because the amount of money we spend on Ukraine dwarfs the amount of money we would spend on the Pentagon if we did it ourselves. It's way like, if you don't even have to look at it in terms of moral righteousness, you can look at it in terms of dollars and cents if you want to be like that. It's cheaper for the United States to do it this way than it is to do it themselves. Don't look at it in terms of, it's the morally, it's the moral obligation for the United States to defend democracy. Obviously, but if you're a fascist and if you're a white supremacist, you don't really subscribe to that. But you might subscribe to the idea that money is power, and that means money is important. If you believe that, then fine. Even if you look at it that way, it's still better in the United States' interest to support Ukraine, because we save money this way. It's cheaper for us to do it this way than to do it ourselves. It would be way more expensive. Look at the cost of Iraq and Afghanistan. And what did we get for it? Nothing. It's clear moral. This one is clear. There's no moral ambiguity. Like with Syria, it wasn't clear, like, who were we supporting. It wasn't clear what was going on. The government was bad. We wanted the government to go away, but we didn't know which rebel group to support, and Russia was directly supporting the government. So it was like, not gonna get too far in that one. But with Ukraine, that's clear. It was a democratic country, totally doing its own thing, no threat whatsoever to Russia, and Russia attacked it anyways. It's super clear cut, super clear that the moral obligation for the United States is to help Ukraine defend itself. It makes sense financially. It makes sense morally. It makes sense ethically, strategically, every single way whatsoever. It makes sense. The only way it doesn't make sense is if you're on Team Russia. That's why Tucker Carlson is spouting his anti-Zelensky propaganda, because Tucker Carlson is on Team Russia. So Merry Christmas for the Ukrainian people. Like, they have to do it under darkness because of the air raids. They're under constant assault from missiles, and their power stations get hit all the time. But they're alive, and they can have they're alive for Christmas. So Merry Christmas to them. I'm glad their president met our president. But yeah, remember, like, birds of a feather flock together. So this here is a picture of Elno with Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner. Remember Jared Kushner? He's the guy who was in the pocket of Mohammed bin Salman. Mohammed bin Salman owned this kid. This kid was owned. He's not a kid. He's like my age. A little bit younger. But he's in his 40s, I'm pretty sure. But this guy was totally being manipulated by Mohammed bin Salman. And he traded $2 billion for U.S. top secret information that he sold to Mohammed bin Salman, who he then used to murder Jamal Khashoggi. So, and who's hanging out with him? Elno Husk. That's right. Who else does Elno Husk hang out with? Erdogan. This dude is a dude of Turkey. Turkey is technically our ally and part of NATO, but this guy is a bad guy. He's anti-democratic. He's violent toward secular people who don't believe in any religion. I guess secularism. You know, he's against secular people. He's a real big Muslim, like fundamentalist guy. So he's not really a good guy. But Elon Musk is shaking hands with him because they're buddies. Because Elon Musk only cares about power. That's his only standard, is power. That's what happens when you're like stupidly rich. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, another Christmas present. That this already happened. It's already old, right? Old news. But I still want to remind people. Andy Ngo admits that his tweets make people targets. In other words, Andy Ngo is a target caller. Andy Ngo calls targets for his mob to attack, and he admits it under oath in a court of law. So it cannot go away. He cannot make it go away. He admits it. He's a target caller. That's what he does. Andy Ngo calls targets. He's a target caller. You ever play World of Warcraft? You ever play Rated Battlegrounds, which is like 10-man groups against other 10-man groups? Generally, of your team, there's one person who's the person who looks around and at the battlefield and tells everyone else which person is the target that you want to kill. Because it's hard to go one-on-one, 10 on 10. There's no way you can do it. You want to concentrate your power, all your attacks, all your power on one person. Because if you spread out 10 attacks on 10 people, nothing happens. But if you take 10 attacks on one person, that one person's gonna die. So the job of the target caller is to identify which of the group is the weakest and has the chance of dying, and then call them out. And then everyone else hears the call, changes their target to the one called by the target caller, and everyone focuses their attack until that person dies. It's basic, it's like PvP. It's World of Warcraft PvP. Andy Ngo is that guy. He's the guy that calls the target. He's the guy who says, "Oh, this is our target, everyone. This is the guy we want to kill." And then all his followers dump hate on this one person. Generally, that one person is a journalist who exposes truth. Now, if you're exposing truth, that generally means you're like on our side. But Andy Ngo hates that. He hates that. He can't abide by truth. That's why he works for the bad forces to call targets of people he thinks like he can destroy with his mob. He admits it in court. Here, don't listen to me, listen to him.
Ask the question again, please.
Okay. Do you acknowledge that when you tweet about someone online, it can potentially make them a target in the same way that you've been targeted?
Yes.
There it is. Yes. Do you acknowledge that when you tweet about someone online, when you call a target, they can potentially... Ooh, wait. Damn it, leave me alone. Let me go inside here. Do you acknowledge that when you tweet about someone on here... do you acknowledge that when you tweet about someone online, they can potentially make them a target in the same way that you've been targeted? And he says, yes. So Andy No admits he's a target caller. He can call targets. I can't call targets. Not me. No. I mean, I could try, but it's not going to go anywhere because no one listens to me. No, my follower count is like basically nobody. I've got like almost 200, but like like a lot of them aren't like, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of them even listen to me or care about what I say. I only have a follower count of 200. Andy No has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people who actively engage with him all the time. Me, I can post all day. No one talks to me. Him, he posts and 1,000 people will respond. So we are not like, our reaches are not the same. I can't be a target caller the way that Andy No can be a target caller. And if I am a target caller, I don't call out weak targets. I call out like I call out the powerful people that need to be targeted by all of us. All of us. So what else do I got here? Okay, I got one more thing for you before I go. So everyone talks about like cars being awful, cars being terrible. We need to get rid of cars. But try to remember what life was like before the car. Like, try to imagine. Could you imagine what it would be like to live in New York City before the car? It was all horses. Horses for everything. But, you know, horses are animals. Horses, they're biological creatures. Horses got to eat. Horses got to drink. Horses got to piss and shit. And if you live in New York City, you can't just go out to the field or whatever. You're in the city. So what happens over time is that it starts building up and getting way bad. And before the car, this is what New York City streets looked like. Filled with fucking shit. That's shit right there. All that is shit. Clumps of shit. Gigantic clumps of shit. Because, like, it didn't matter like how hard you work to clean it off. It just gets more and more and more. Gigantic clumps of shit everywhere before they invented the automobile. That's why they're so happy to have anything better than the horse, because all the shit everywhere. Anyways, that's raining and dark. Gotta go home. Anyways, punk, what? Get out of here. Ow. And all my carts are gone. Did you steal my cart? No. Are there any more left? I should put extra here. Extra cart. Need bones. Bones! I don't need dirt. And the coal, I mean, yeah. Carts, mine carts. 1, 2, oh shit. Okay. Okay. Have a few. Yeah, this old minecart is from a guy named Skippy6 from years ago. That's how I learned this one. And it's pretty good. It's reliable. I think, if you don't build it on a chunk border. Even then, I've never had problems with it. Well, I think on a chunk border I have, but, you know, that's it. What? What's going on, dude? Why didn't you go? Oh! You're in the wrong spot. All right, now you'll work. Okay. Well, it beats walking. Yeah, Merry Christmas. What? Every time. All right, here I am. Okay. Well then. Merry Christmas. We made it another year. Here's to remembering those who have not made it this year. May we burn brighter through the night in with their memory. And for everyone else, like, enjoy your Christmas gifts. Yay! Happy Christmas gifts. And yeah. And remember, like, the biggest gift is one another. We need to take care of one another, because at the end of the day, that's what's important, is one another. The relationships. It's not the things, it's the relationships that we have with one another. The feelings and the memories that we make. All right, America, until next time, Pogokuro out. Peace.